What's up guys, this is Ray and today we'll be talking about the classic 1962 Japanese movie, The Tale of Zatoichi, directed by Misumi Kenji and starring Katsu Shintaro. Now Zatoichi, if you guys don't know, he's one of the most prolific, most famous characters in all of samurai cinema, to the point where he has even inspired a lot of other characters in different forms of media. Like if you ever played Guilty Gear, the video game Guilty Gear, for example, there's this character by the name of Zato 1 who eventually becomes Eddie, but he was inspired by Zatoichi. And even there's even a movie starring Ayase Haruka called Ichi, another movie about a blind warrior. And yeah, definitely a nod to Zatoichi. And pretty much Katsu Shintaro has portrayed Zatoichi in all 26 of the classic movies in the series. And then, of course, we have the remake, which was released in the early 2000s, that starred Beat Takeshi. But yeah, it's pretty much, when it comes to the idea of Zatoichi, it's pretty much Katsu Shintaro who is synonymous with the character. And I just learned this recently. The character's name is Ichi. Zato is kind of a slang to refer to a blind man. And so the character is basically, Ichi the blind, if you were to translate it literally. But of course, we just all call the character Zatoichi. That's what his name is. But yeah, I just learned recently that the character's name is actually Ichi. Anyway, Zatoichi, he's this blind warrior. Well, you don't know that he's a warrior at first. But he comes into town, he makes his money by either gambling with dice games or doing massages. I think during the time, a lot of folks who were blind were kind of tasked to be masseurs of sorts, and Zatoichi definitely is that. Anyways, he comes into town and he gets in the middle of this rivalry between two Yakuza gangs. And of course, the town he's in tries to recruit Zatoichi because apparently they're old acquaintances, and the boss tries to get his help so that way he can fight his rival. But kind of living with the other clan is this old samurai by the name of Hirate. And he and Zatoichi meet. They develop this mutual respect for each other. But then the time comes when the two clans start having a war. So when it comes to the positives of Zatoichi, I absolutely love the character. First of all, Zatoichi himself, he's a wanderer, goes from town to town just trying to make some cash. And whenever someone is in need of help, he of course he helps them. He protects those who are mistreated, those who are in trouble. And he's a good person. And I love the way that he just messes around with people, with the bad guys or folks that look down on him. Like when you first see his interaction with the local Yakuza gang, they're playing a dice game. And he intentionally loses a few games, because they try to take advantage of him not seeing. They think he's stupid and dumb. But then ultimately he gets the big win and he gets the final laugh. And he does a lot of things like this throughout the story. So he comes off as this kind of mumbling idiot of sorts, but little do these people know that this guy is a badass. And the action scenes were intense. It's not as it doesn't have the same kind of choreography or high impact intensity as choreography would be nowadays in cinema. However, it's still exciting and still holds up to this day. And a lot of these battles are quick and they're silent. They don't have much dramatic music going on when the real epic fights are happening. I think a lot of the intensity with these fights come with the silence, and that's what makes, especially the final battle. The final battle is gripping. There's no music being played, and you get to, there's no like hyper editing. You get to see the whole entire fight in its entirety, and because it's silent and because you're just waiting to see what happens next, and these guys are just waiting patiently until the right time to strike. They're not just wastefully swinging their sword around. Everything is as if to make a very intense fight. I also dig the relationship between Zatoichi and the rival samurai Hirate. Like when they first meet each other, it's at a fishing pond, and at first they don't really know what to think about the other. But then you really see their relationship form, and you hate to think that these guys are on opposite sides of the pond. They both kind of are siding with different gangs who are at war with each other. So it's really heartbreaking when you think about where their relationship would eventually end up. And not just these two main characters. I really dug the amount of characters that they featured in the story. And pretty much everyone had a dark side to it. Obviously, Hirate and Zatoichi, they each stay with their own respective clan of thugs. And everyone is bad. Everyone is kind of dirty in a way. There are no good characters in the story, or at least when it comes to the gang members, of course. And there is a lot of trickery, a lot of backstabbing, and a lot of underhanded dealings going on in the story. And they're all centered around these two good characters, Zatoichi and Hirate. They're the only good characters in this story. And just seeing how everyone interacts with each other, it's really entertaining. But when it comes to the negatives of Zatoichi, there's only one negative I have to say, is that this movie tries to start up this romantic plot between Zatoichi and this woman in the village. However, I feel like it was very sudden. It was kind of just brought up out of nowhere, no real build up to it. And in the end, nothing really came out of it. So I think that was this movie's only weak point. Other than that, this movie, I really enjoy this movie, just mainly because I really love Zatoichi as a character. And the fact that he's just this blind dude who has a sword faster than most samurais. But overall, what I have to say about Zatoichi, of course, definitely check it out. It is definitely a movie to watch if you're a fan of samurai movies, and you have one of the most iconic characters in all of Japanese cinema. And if you enjoyed this first movie, definitely check out the other movies in the series. I think they all have something to enjoy about them. But anyways, yes, those are my thoughts on the Tale of Zatoichi. What did you guys think? Please let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And if you really dig my content, please know you can support Eiga-Man Ray via Patreon from as little as $1. And yeah, that's about it for me, guys. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hope to catch you all again in the next video. Take it easy.